And welcome, everyone. Good morning to y'all. And if in case you catch us at a later time, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is another edition of the ETBU Sportsnet Coaches Show. I'm Kenneth the K-Rock Klein. Please excuse me there. I'm trying to get myself prepared because I have to do another interview with every one of ETBU's favorite coaches. Of course, we had to draw some straws as to see who gets to be the lucky one today. And this week we have the ETBU women's soccer coach, Kristin Cox, who, of course, is coming off a pretty good non-conference schedule. I mean, 3-3-1. I mean, you've got to be very pleased with how well your team's been playing.
Yeah, I'm definitely pleased. I think that we had a good, solid conference preseason schedule. We only came out with 3 losses against 3 solid programs, Trinity, Southwestern, and LSUA. And Southwestern and LSUA, we actually had the lead both games before going down. So definitely proud of my girls. And I'm all right with a 50, 3-3-1. So excited to see them build on top of that.
Absolutely, Coach. So obviously you got your first non-conference schedule out of the way as a head coach as well. You win entering that as well. But just kind of talk about, things that you really have been impressed with from your team, especially when they're playing on the field together. It just seems like there's a chemistry building with this team every single match.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that chemistry on and off the field has been a massive improvement just from last semester. And you can see it when they're playing. Like, there's moments of brilliant soccer, like passing, possession, making runs in, multiple shot opportunities. I think we've shot the ball so much this year already, and we'll start finishing them soon. They do well at practice, finishing them at practice, and I think now that the pre-conference schedule is out of the way, some of those nerves are out of the way. I know as being a head coach, some of my nerves are out of the way, and I'm definitely pleased with my girls' progress and their chemistry on the field and the ball movement we've been creating. Even when we have some who would be starting lineup girls missing, out injured, or can't attend, we've still come together. I think we have a deep roster, and I'm pleased with my bench and my starters, all my girls.
Certainly, Coach, as well. And you kind of talked about how you probably had your first nerves out of the way as your head coach and the job and all that, because obviously this is your first year. You're used to being the assistant coach. Obviously, from what you've learned being the head coach now, aside from the fact that, well, you're in charge now, what do you think's been like the biggest difference that you've seen as a head coach up to this point?
There's just more, I guess, weight and responsibility on my actions and my reactions, like how we train at practice. I have to hold higher expectations and be mean. I think I've been a little more mean than ever before, but I think that just comes with me having high expectations and high standards, and I got to hold them to them. But I asked my girls, I was like, I know I've been mean so far this semester, but like, y'all still love me, right? And they said they did, so must be doing something right with that. And the other thing is just like in games, I do have more of a voice during the game, but I've also know when to use it, when not to use it. And then another thing is after games, like I have to understand like we're a team, we're building. Yes, it's my first year as a head coach, but how can I portray Christ in my reactions to wins and to losses and to things like that. So it's been fun kind of to have the lead of that and be mindful of my actions and how it's affecting my girls' attitudes.
As long as it's a positive mean, then I think it'll be a good shape for your team as well. So, all right, Coach. Well, non-conference schedule out of the way. It's finally time for you to put your self-confidence and the way your team's been playing to the test as you start conference play this week against Concordia and UMHB as well. Solid sides over the past couple of years as well, but this is kind of where, there's always going to be that big ladder match to see who's going to get to the top position, because ultimately it takes 8 teams to get to the conference tournament, and that's where you want to end up. But just kind of from a player that has yet to experience that, like a newcomer or so, and those that have, what simple advice do you actually give to the team?
We got to go out one game at a time, every step of the way. Like you said, we were starting with Concordia and UMHB, 2 solid programs. I love that we start off with a tough test. And I'm excited to see my girls come out and how they respond to that. But I told them it's one game at a time. We got Concordia first, and then we got UMHB. We're kind of training this week for both teams. and I'm just kind of excited to see how they go.
Absolutely, Coach, as well. So let's talk about some of your players, obviously. You know, you have your usual core returners, Ashley Rondon, Reagan Kapler, Brianna Mickshaw, and Abigail Baff, just to name a few off the top of your head. But the newcomers, I've really been impressed with some of these newcomers as well. Like, just kind of, without really putting too much of an ego in their head, just kind of talk about which newcomers have really kind of, you know, been a big positive asset to have on and off the field.
Awesome. Well, I think like all of our freshmen, they've come in and surprised me. I think one that's definitely had an impact even on score lines is Kayla. She's already put in a couple goals for us. Girl is a workhorse. She will work through anything, run through anybody, and give me her all at all times. Another one we have in the center midfield, Olivia. She is phenomenal technical. She creates plays, makes plays, and she'll start fighting the back of the goal soon. So those are just two that I'm super proud of. But all of them. Caitlin Smith came in and got a goal in our last game. She started that game, earned the starting spot at practice, and just continues to put in deadly crosses and finding the back of the net herself. So I'm excited. Those are three offensive freshman threats. So I'm excited to see how they continue to grow.
Absolutely, Coach. And, well, we will look forward to seeing you next time on ETP Coaches Show. We wish you the best of luck this weekend as you hopefully come up with a couple of dubs to get a good start. So you can check out Coach Kristin Cox's interview later and also keep an eye on her team as well. All right, folks, that's going to do it this week. Stay tuned next week on the ETP Sportsnet Coaches Show.